Hello, my story lovers. Here I am, Aarti. Today we will be listening to a new story, Boy Scouts Forever, written by Ruskin Bond from his book All Time Favorite for Children. I was a Boy Scout once, although I couldn't tell a slip note from a granny note or a reef note from a thief note, except that a thief note was supposed to be used to tie up a thief. Should you happen to catch one? I have never caught a thief and wouldn't know what to do with one since I can't tie a note. Just let him go with a warning, I suppose. Tell him to become a Boy Scout. Be prepared. That's the Boy Scout motto, and a good one too. But I never seem to be well prepared for anything, be it an exam or a journey or a roof blowing off my room. I get halfway through a speech and then forget what I have to say next. Or I make a new suit to attend a friend's wedding and then turn up in my pajamas. So, how did I, the most impractical of boys, become a Boy Scout? I was at boarding school in Simla when it happened. Well, it seems a rumor had gone around the junior school. I was still in a junior then. That I was a good cook. I had never cooked anything in my life, but I had spent a lot of time in the tuck shop making suggestions and advising Chipu, who ran the tuck shop, and encouraging him to make more and better samosas, jalebis, tikkis, and pakoras. For my unwanted advice, he would favor me with an occasional free samosa. So naturally, I looked upon him as a friend and a benefactor. With this qualification, I was given a cookery badge and put in the charge of our troop supplies of rations. There were about 20 of us in our troop, and during the summer break, our scoutmaster, Mr. Oliver, took us on a camping expedition to Tara Devi, a temple-crowned mountain a few miles outside Shimla. That first night we were put to work peeling potatoes, skinning onions, shelling peas, and pondering masalas. These various ingredients being ready. I was asked, as a troop cookery expert, what should be done with them. Put everything in that big degchi, I ordered. Pour half a tin of ghee over the lot. Add some nettle leaves and cook for a half an hour. When this was done, everyone had a taste, but the general opinion was that the dish lacked something. More salt, I suggested. More salt was added. It still lacked something. Add a cup of sugar, I ordered. Sugar was added to the concoction, but still it lacked something. We forgot to add tomatoes, said Bimal, one of other scouts. Never mind, I said. We have tomato sauce and add a bottle of tomato sauce. How about the vinegar? Asked another boy. Just the thing, I agreed. A cup of vinegar. Now it's too sour, said one of the tasters. What jam did we bring? I asked. Gooseberry jam. Just the thing. Empty the bottle. The dish was a great success. Everyone enjoyed it, including Mr. Oliver, who had no idea what went into it. What's this called? He asked. It's an all Indian sweet and sour jam potato curry, I ventured. For short, just call it a bundi bhuji, said Bimal. I had earned my cookery badge. Poor Mr. Oliver. He wasn't really cut out to be a scoutmaster, any more than I was meant to be a scout. The following day, he announced that he would give us a lesson of trekking. He would take half an hour start and walk into the forest, leaving behind him a trail of broken twigs, chicken feathers, pine cones, and chestnuts, and we were to follow the trail until we found him. Unfortunately, we were not very good trackers. We did follow Mr. Oliver's trail some way into forest, but were distracted by a pool of clear water which looked very inviting. Abandoning our uniforms, we jumped into the pool and had a great time romping around, or just lying on the grassy banks and enjoying the sunshine. A couple of hours later, feeling hungry, We returned to our campsite and set about preparing the evening meal. Bundi bhuji again, but with further variations. It was growing dark, and we were beginning to worry about Mr. Oliver's whereabouts when he limped into camp, assisted by a couple of local villagers. Having waited for us at the far end of the forest for a couple of hours, he had decided to return by following his own trail. But in the gathering gloom, he was soon lost. Some locals returning from the temple took charge of him and escorted him back to the camp. He was very angry and made us return all our good conduct and other badges, which he stuffed into his haversack. I had to give up my cookery badge too. An hour later, we all were preparing to get into our sleeping bags for the night. Mr. Olivers called out, "Where's the dinner?" "We had ours," said Bimal. "Everything is finished, sir." "Where is Bond?" "He's supposed to be the cook." "Bond, get up and make an omelette." "Can't, sir." "Why not?" "You have my badge. Not allowed to cook without it. Scout rule, sir." "Never heard of such a rule, but you can have your badge back, all of you. We return to school tomorrow." Mr. Oliver returned to his tent in a huff, but I relented and made him an elaborate omelette, garnishing it with the dandelion leaves and extra chili. "Never had such an omelette before," confessed Mr. Oliver, blowing out his cheeks. "A little too hot, but otherwise quite interesting. Would you like another, sir?" "Tomorrow. Tomorrow, Bond." "We'll breakfast early tomorrow." But we had to break up our camp very early the next day. In the early hours, a bear had strayed into our camp, entered the tent where our stores were kept, and wreaked havoc with all our provisions, even rolling our biggest degchi down the hillside. In the confusion and uproar that followed, the bear entered Mr. Oliver's tent. He was already outside, fortunately, and came out entangled in Mr. Oliver's dressing gown. It then made off in the direction of forest. A bear in the dressing gown? It was comical sight, and though we were a troop of brave little scouts, we thought it better to let the bear keep the gown. Thank you.